Hello and welcome back to It's on the Ledger. In this tutorial we'll be showing you what happens to the ledger when you send or receive a payment from your Stellar wallet. So far we have looked at what happens when we claim a pending balance, but did you know they only appear as a claimable balance because there is no trust line for the destination account? We cancelled our offer to sell the 121 Aqua and we can see the offer has been cancelled. It's offer number ID 035, and then we sent it to the IOTLB on the ledger's buddy, who didn't have the Aqua trust line set, just so we can see what an airdrop looks like from a sender's perspective. So let's see what happened. Wow, what is going on here? There seems to be a lot of stuff happening, so let's break it down and see what's happened. In this transaction, we've already stripped out the angle brackets and parentheses, so we're now just left with the text. We don't need the timestamps here on the right, and we're not looking at the operations yet, so let's just cuddle these lines in the details a bit closer together. We can see that the top address is this account straight away, and the account underneath, the IOTLB account, that's Buddy. The only thing that we've got left now is this number, but that can't be the only information we've got, surely. Well, remember those little blue lines at the side of the transaction? They've got that drop-down information. Let's take a peek inside there. Wow! Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on in here too. The top line tells us that we've created a pending claimable balance. Lines 2 and 3 have the conditions set for the pending airdrop. Line 4 moved the Aqua from our wallet, and line 5 had something to do about sponsorship being created. Well, if we flip back up to the top section where the summary box is, you can now see that we are sponsoring 2 reserves. These are for this transaction. If we look at lines 2 and 3 again, we can see that we have a condition that must be claimed by the 12th of June, and if it isn't claimed by that date and that time, then it gets returned to the sender. There's one sponsorship for the asset to go out and one sponsorship for the asset to come back in, should these conditions not be met. The transaction that we made in the Stellar wallet told us that the conditions were, look. So now when you see a similar transaction on the ledger, you'll know what it is. Everything that happens in your Stellar wallet is recorded on the blockchain and is represented here, just in a different way than your wallet. Let's go back to number 5. It says claimable balance sponsorship created, AF011AEC. Let's pop back to Buddy quickly to see the account. And what's the quickest way to do that? Of course, click those blue hyperlinks, and don't forget they open up in the same window, so right click and then open in a new tab if you don't want to lose the original account that you were looking at. In the All Operations tab, we can see the address for Buddy. At the bottom you can see that the same account made the IOTLB account as the IOTLA account, so both the A and the B accounts have the same parent, as it was the main IOTL account that funded them both initially. Above it you can see where they've added the trust line. And we're pretty sure by now you know that adding and removing trust lines will always appear in settings. Then Buddy collected his airdrop, as he now had the trust line for it. All the movements of tokens directly from one account to another will always appear in payments. There's no mention here of who sent it, but we can see that they claimed a balance, which matches the number AF011AEC. Let's go back to IOTLA. We've zoomed out to 30% of the screen size to show you the All Operations tab. Having just done a few airdrops and setting up a payment to Buddy, who didn't have the trust line set up, it's starting to look really busy. So what happens when we send a payment in XLM, for example? Let's send a payment from Buddy to IOTLA and then back to IOTLB, the Buddy account again. There's a lot less information here for these transactions, and they've even put in the memo what the payment was. There's a really easy way to remember how transactions work. The account on the left is the account where the asset is leaving, and the account on the right is the one that's receiving. Left for leaving and right for receiving. There's just one final thing to show you here for sending and receiving payments, and that's receiving a payment in a token that you do have the trust line for. Let's show you. You see, this is exactly the same. It's just the asset and the quantity that have changed. Can you see the difference between sending a payment to a wallet that does have a trust line versus one that does not? There's quite a difference in the type of information being sent on the ledger, don't you think?